Hi everybody, I'm Jack. This is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. Hope you're all happy that the weekend's here. Doing this on Friday, but I'm thinking like I got a busy weekend ahead. I just got accepted to be able to sell t-shirts on Amazon. So now I'm really running around. I'm splitting focus between watching tutorials on Facebook ads and kind of figuring out this whole Amazon thing about how getting the different dimensions for designs, getting them uploaded and what have you. I'll talk more about that in the future because I'm going to reach out to some people that I can do some. I've got a little bit more creativity, a little bit more room to do things now, so I can do small batches of shirts for people too, like if they have an event or a family reunion or a fruit luck. That would be a good t-shirt for somebody. But anyhow, I wanted to talk about the right way to do a raw food diet today. Ooh, what could this be about? What is the one right way? I do videos every day, so if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit that subscribe button now, then click on the little bell and check send notifications so you'll stay subscribed to the channel. Check send notifications on all your channels so you'll make sure and know when people that you want to follow are putting out new content. You know, there's so much conflicting information out there, and not just that there's conflicting information and opinions out there, but there's, what, hundreds of people coming at you claiming that their way is the one true way, the only way to do a raw food diet. You know, that's just going against the grain for me my whole life. I don't like, you know, when somebody like defines a very narrow way of doing things as the one universal way for everybody, I just get suspicious. I get right off the bat. I don't, you know, I don't think there is necessarily one narrow path for everybody. But this is why I talk about too, it's very, very important. You have to take responsibility for this. I've talked about this a number of times. It always kind of irks me a little bit when I see a video on YouTube that's like knocking what somebody else said, like, oh, that was dangerous, they shouldn't have said this, like, oh, I took so-and-so's health advice and look what it did to me. And people shift all the blame to somebody else for putting something into our bodies, into our temples. Listen, I take full responsibility for me. This is my temple right here. Anything I do, anything I get from anybody else, I do with the assumption that that's my choice. And I'm not going to, you know, I should do my due diligence. I should check it out. And once I make a decision, it's pretty important what we're putting in our mouth. So, you know, by the time it gets to my mouth, if I listen to somebody and it doesn't turn out right, I just look at it like either, okay, they were wrong, or I should have paid more attention to the information, or maybe I should have done a little bit more research, or maybe it just didn't work for me. But you have to take your own responsibility. Don't blame other people, you know, no matter how outrageous some health advice or whatever else there is out there. We have this vast resource called the internet that we can check all this stuff out, and I would always advise you to do that. I don't get too technical into the sciencey stuff, but I'm saying even, hey, even double check what I'm saying. Hey, what I'm saying may not work for you, may not be right for you. So you have to do your own research in this lifestyle, and you have to, in the end, take responsibility for yourself. Like I say, I mean, I just don't ever trust that this is the one right way. And you see that, like, I kind of get this big picture thing. That's why I kind of like to sit back a little bit and not participate all so much on the whole Facebook and social media thing. Every group you go to, every guru that's out there has the one true way. And when it's almost kind of like indoctrination, cults, religion, whatever. When you're sitting in these various groups, it's easy to get pumped up. It's easy to follow the crowd and do what they do and just be like, well, you know, I like these people, or I like certain things here, and this is my group, so this is me. And, you know, you kind of keep getting, and it's almost like a little subtle form of brainwashing, I've noticed. It's like, you know, the more that you kind of want to buy into something and be this one certain specific narrow way, the more. So that's why I've basically followed the approach that I still follow today the whole time I've been on this lifestyle. I'm open to new ideas. I'm skeptical of everything. I question everything. I'm like kind of like a fly. I don't land for too long. I don't light on anything. I'm just buzzing around all the time. I don't spend, I never have. I don't do the Facebook thing a lot now. I do a couple of groups that I enjoy, but I just kind of jump around now. I don't get into any one particular place. And I've kind of had that approach my whole life with people I watch on YouTube, groups that I go to, any sort of resource that I go to. I like to get everything. I want to hear everybody's opinion, no matter how crazy, whatever. That's why I'm always stressing to you, don't hear, like if somebody says one little thing that you really don't agree with, no matter how diametrically opposed you are to them, don't shut them off completely and don't discount them completely, because I think everybody out there, there's people out there I probably disagree with half of what they say, 75% of what they say or more, but I can get one little nugget from them, or I get a thought process, or I get something of value from them. So have an open mind. Don't be closed off, and don't, like have this kind of, don't be a fanboy or a fangirl so much, like following, this is your body. In other words, like I could be the most charming dude in the world. I'm not saying, I'm just using me as an example. You might like me, you might love me, you might adore me. I don't think anybody does, but it still comes down to your health. No matter how charming I could be or how well I could potentially talk and be a good salesman and sell you on all these concepts, I could be selling you a bunch of hooey. So you have to run it all through this filter, which is your mind. And in the end, like I say, I'm going to keep coming back to the point. You have to take responsibility for you. This is something in a lot of areas of life that's just kind of irked me for a number of years. I used to be a bartender back in the day. And although I worked in a restaurant, it wasn't like a crowded, nightclub bar. So it wasn't that hard to keep up with people. I never was really super keen on this whole blame the bartender if somebody got overly drunk, because and some people have opposite views of that, but when you're working in an atmosphere, it's real busy, people are coming and going, you see people drinking all the time, drinks, everything kind of gets blurred. You can't necessarily keep up with everybody, and that just used to bug me, that like bartenders could sometimes be held responsible because society in general does not want to take responsibility for their whole lives. Hell, like I say, we can flip this conversation over into just life in general. You have to take responsibility for everything you do. Your actions are your actions, but this is the most important of all. This is what you're putting into your body. And it's funny even hearing myself say that, like I wasn't like the worst person health-wise, but thinking back to like 7 years ago, before, when I just lived, drank, ate like I used to do, and I would have just like, that would have been an asinine statement to me back then. But now I'm very aware of everything I put in my body, and I'm also very aware of my power with this resource called the internet, that I can figure it all out. I don't have to follow any one person. If there's anything I really, really strive for on this channel, is to kind of show people process, kind of make people self-reliant. Even if I had the chops where I could retain things and I could spit this raw food science and all this, I would never want to be somebody's guru or be that person that everybody kind of, like does like that. I want to give you that idea of self-reliance. And like I say, self-reliance in most things in life. We have so much information at our fingertips. I say over and over, if you just learn how to do searches on Google, and you learn how to do searches on YouTube, and you apply this brain and this filter, you can teach yourself anything. You can figure out anything. And that's mostly how I've done it on this lifestyle. Listen, I have nothing special. I have no special advantage on this, no special knowledge. Actually, I'm a little bit brain damaged from too much drinking through the years, but I've just done it step by step, and I developed my intuition. That's also that's a big part of doing this lifestyle the right way. And that's not just some woo-woo feel-good stuff. I was listening to a podcast by Tim Ferriss the other day about how intuition is actually a mental skill that we can develop by, being more aware, being more just trying to tune in to how things instinctively feel to us when we do them. you know. So you know it, you know it, you know it. I'm telling you, I could stop with all, like I could erase my brain of any knowledge I have about this lifestyle and just go by how I feel. You know, I'm on day 5, and I've just, since Monday, I've only had bananas and some orange juice, and my body just feels amazing. Now, no, is that about like somebody that watches just this video and has never seen another video? Well, you can't live on that. Of course not. I go through phases, you know, but for right now, my body just felt like, let's just get real simple. Let's do a little bit of cleansing while still having energy and eating food. And I know when I'm eating. I mean, you know, if you will just kind of like work on developing that, I know when I'm eating a certain way, if it's right for me. Now, I'm not a fanatic. I knowingly eat things sometimes, but I have my limits. You know, I knowingly eat something going like, yeah, this isn't the best of the best due to circumstances, or maybe I'm traveling or whatever, but I always know when I get back to that really high vibrational raw food, fruit mostly, I feel my absolute best. But anyhow, hope you guys maybe got something out of this one today. If you like it, please give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you again tomorrow. Peace.